This engine that we have releasing in the 2020 is an inline six engine. It's the first inline six diesel that we've ever put in a light duty pickup. It's 277 horsepower. We get that at 3750 RPM. It's class leading, and then the torque is 460 pound-feet of torque, and we achieve that at 1500 RPMs, and we even get 95% of that torque down to 1250. So the driving profile of this truck and this engine is incredibly good response. We've got a VGT activated turbo, which helps us achieve that torque very quickly and helps us launch really with great performance and very little hesitation. It's great for towing. We have a tow rating of 9,300 pounds. It's not best in class for the Silverado, but we've brought to this vehicle a balance of towing and power and great fuel economy, which is because we know 90% of our customers are covered with that 9,300 pound tow rating. We will not be able to announce the fuel economy yet because of EPA certification. We're going through that right now, and that will be announced here shortly. But we know that our customers are going to be very excited about what the fuel economy numbers are. We've got starting down to minus 22 degrees F without assisted, and down to minus 30 degrees, so it starts very well at cold weather as well. The maintenance, other than adding DEF fluid, is really no difference than a gas engine. Yeah, so given that, the good throttle response along with the ability to go down to B20 fuel, that helps broaden what can be burned inside the tank and at a more economical perspective for especially for fleet drivers as well. Adding DEF fluid is obviously an issue. I mean, it's one of the things that we have to do as a diesel owner now with our SCR to keep emissions down. The DEF fill tank is on the side now. It's easily accessible. Previous generations may have had the fill underneath the hood, and that was rather onerous. As far as span on terms of filling the DEF, we've got a 5.1 gallon tank, and our service interval is 7,500 miles for oil change, and that DEF tank is sized that if you're doing normal driving, you're going to be lined up with that 7,500 mile. If you're doing heavier towing, obviously that'll be shorter. One of the great things we have now is a great level sensor now in the DEF tank. Now, previous generations have been less precise, but now we have an ultrasonic measuring, so we're able to tell down to within 5 to 10% how much is in the tank, so it's very predictable. One of the goals was to make this a refined package so that people didn't, any of the stigma that was around diesel being loud or being smoky, this engine has none of those characteristics. So one of the ways that we do that is obviously with sound isolation. Right here underneath the cover here, we've got a very thick layer of sound insulation, which runs along the whole line, all on top the cross of the engine to cover the injectors to keep the noise down. All the way to our fuel injection system, which is industry, well, not industry, but class first. We're at 2,500 bar, which is over 36,000 PSI on the injection pressure. Now, the great thing that does with us, along with being able to do multiple up to 10 injections of fuel during each cylinder event, we get to shape the compression or the event, and we're able to shape the sound so that we don't get the loud clatter. This has been a great factor, and this is why the engine doesn't sound like an old clackety diesel. And it's, in fact, I would say in some ways it's quiet. It's as quiet than a gas engine. Given our broad torque range and high torque, I mean high horsepower, even at high RPM, it gives us the ability to drive very much like a gas engine. It's very responsive. So as far as the driver of the truck, he's not going to have any difficulty. In fact, he'll even have a very good time driving it because it's very nimble, fun to drive, and I think it'll make everybody happy.
Let me talk about some features. One is the 10-speed automatic transmission, which is coping with this engine. It's really a perfect fit. The 10-speed allows always to to keep the torque at the level you want to have, and being the engine developing a flat torque across the wide range of speed. With the 10 speed you can always optimize, and when you are low load, the 10 speed can bring the engine in an area where the fuel consumption is at very minimum. The Line 6 configuration has been selected at the very beginning of the project because it's inherently balanced, it's fully balanced. There are opportunities to reduce frictions and to reduce loss of energies, and there are other benefits to commonize with other diesel engines which GM is developing in Europe. And indeed there was a great opportunity having the new Silverado vehicle development ongoing. At the same time we were starting the development of the engine, that we could really find the best architecture to fit into this engine. There have been some challenges because of course the Line 6 is longer than a V6, but with very dedicated design we were able to make it compact, super compact, and make it package into the vehicle. Another features which is also in the view of the fuel economy, we have 3 electrical fans which are cooling down the CRFM. They are packaged all here, and they are cooling down the main circuit for the water. They are cooling down the oil, the transmission oil cooler, and they are cooling down as well the secondary water circuit for the engine. And actually they are also capable of doing the overrun, so during soaking they can keep turning and cooling down the engine. The availability is basically depending on the certificate that the agencies will provide to us, and we believe late summer, early fall, that will be the start of production.
So far, I like it. This feels good. It feels right. Has good acceleration, especially at the lower speed levels. The suspension seems responsive, seems nimble for a truck. Ride's comfortable. Seat's a little bit firm for me. I'm used to maybe a little bit more plusher seat, so that's a little bit different. Wind noise, I guess it has a little, pretty quiet, I say. Maybe a little bit of wind